everyone. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. I am always so happy to find you here. I do upload on Thursdays, so when you subscribe, you will be alerted when I have uploaded new content for your view, and of course, my pleasure. And it is always my pleasure. Please join me on this coming Thursday, a week from today, which would be April 20th. Where I am going to be doing probably my first live, a panel of men in regards to the comments that have come from that Valentine post about swan, soulmates, and just kind of have the men perspective. So one of the persons on this male panel, which I'm just a facilitator, got to be the facilitator, said, maybe we should do this at least once a month, or we should do it regularly. And I'm thinking about that, but I said, let's just get started first. So this coming Thursday, April 20th, please tune in. And I will, when you subscribe, you will be alerted of that anyway. And of course, put your comments so that we'll know if we do this yet once again, some of the comments that you would have. I again think that perhaps maybe I'm thinking in my head, maybe every third Thursday of the month. That way it's easy to remember, third Thursday of the month, because if this is going to be a male's perspective, I'm sure the girls are going to come on too. So I'm just saying. I know the girls are going to want to come on too. So yeah, I think maybe I'm thinking out loud now. Yeah, maybe in May, the third Thursday in May, we will have the women's perspective. But anyway, we are scheduled for this coming Thursday, the 20th. Okay. Today's topic, speaking of that, oh my God, this is a good segue. Speaking of that, Sunday was Easter. And so it would be helpful to give a little backdrop. In my family for years, probably since the invention of cell phones, where everybody could either text or kind of, text and talk, which is what this topic is going to be about. First of all, it just doesn't work. And it ends a lot of relationships because text, like email, it's a device. It is not the communication. And people can misinterpret the text. So, and don't I have a story for you today? So since the beginning of, I believe, cell phones for us, our family has done a group text. It's a way of us conversing as a group, wishing that person a happy birthday or happy anniversary, sharing good news. Someone's expecting, someone's off to college and we can connect. It's just a thing my family has always done. Most of us, like myself, want to get out of it, but we can't by way of relation. I'm like, oh my God, it's always going off. So here I am still there. I have abdicated myself several times, but somebody went back and fetched me and brought me back in. I can't get away. I can't get away. Having said that, as you know, each family has the personalities within their family. And a few of my nephews and I, we carry what I would call, kind of a sweet and sour sarcasm. And sometimes we just say it amongst ourselves because we get it. We get it. We don't see it in the group. We get off of the group and we text each other. It's a form of shade, but it's funny. It's funny. It's family fun. So I know I carry that. I carry a very hurtless sarcasm. It's sweet and sour sarcasm. So this past Sunday, so I'm building this up for us, okay? This past Sunday was Easter, and there was a group text. Everybody's, texting happy Easter, happy resurrection, have a great day, blah, blah, blah. Before we either get together for dinner or whatever, they start off with this text. And again, I rarely chime in, but so my nephew, the one that has a semi sarcasm like me, he responded back and I thought he was being sarcastic. So I texted him separately and I wrote, funny haha, what you wrote. And he responded back, what do you mean? And I said, I typed back to him what he wrote. And he said, I didn't say that. I had to go back to the group text and think, did I mix it up? Maybe it was another one of my relatives that said that. And I looked and he did say that. He did text what I texted him. So I texted him back and I think I screenshotted it and I sent it to him and I said, yeah, you did. You did say this. You said it. And he wrote back, oh, I was being sincere. And I took it like he was being sarcastic. So I wrote back to him, oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were being, no, he said I was being sincere. And I wrote back, I'm sorry. I was being sunshiny sarcastic. I was being sweet and sour sarcastic. And I sent that text to him. And he sent back a laugh. And I laughed because once he knew the way I was reading it, he read it himself and he got what I was saying. But initially he did not. So he writes back to me, happy Easter, auntie. And I wrote happy Easter, nephew. But so that's just a little thing. But when that happened, it dawned on me. It was like a little light bulb moment. If he didn't know me and my way of being, he could have taken it like I was being shady about what he said. But he knows my personality. He knows how we talk. He knows how we could both be a little salty, sarcastic. But he wasn't being that at that time. He was being sincere. So if he didn't respond to me saying, no, not this time, I'm not being like that, I could have misinterpreted him and he could have said, what kind of mood is she in today? All of this is the point I'd like to make on this talk, is that a lot of times, many times, and especially in relationships, and especially when you haven't developed a sound enough understanding of the person as to how they would read what you wrote. Many times we misinterpret what a person is saying. They weren't saying that at all. And then we fire off the wrong response and it offends them. I've had many uploads in which I said, text is not talk, email is not communication, mostly in reference to work. But when this happened just this past Sunday, on Easter Sunday, it's like my senses woke up and said, oh, I get it. It's genderfication. Different genders respond differently because it made me realize I have never, no, not once ever, had a misinterpreted text from a woman, ever. I've had it from men. I've had it from love interests. I've had it from male relatives. It's a gender interpretation. Now, I know years ago there was this book called Men Are from Mars, Women Are from Venus in the way that we communicate. And I also know that most marriages find their greatest struggle by way of communication. That's why they say irreconcilable difference. I mean, they can't get along. Either that or finances. So having said that, when I realized what my nephew is like, my nephew is my ride or die guy. My nephew gonna come. Okay, he's the one for me. He is that guy for me. So when he didn't get it, I mean, he was not in that frame of mind. He got it. Because after we explained it to each other, we started cracking up. We were cracking up. When that happened, it made me realize these misinterpreted texts are because we don't know the person well enough, or we didn't feel secure enough to ask for clarification, like I asked him and he asked me. And it's almost always from the opposite sex. So before you chop it off, before you end it, before you say bye, realize what you're saying bye to. Because the person may not have meant anything like you said. I recently had something like that. I will also share. That was very disturbing to me. It was very hurtful, actually. Actually, very hurtful. I said to a person what this person did. So, gender again, genderfication, male, female, interpretation of the written word. I said to a person, I won't stand for that. And the person immediately said, kind of like, what? What I mean by I won't stand for that means this is not an acceptable way for me. It is not saying goodbye to you. It is not saying see you later. It is saying this isn't okay for me. It wasn't rude. It wasn't. It's just saying I have a standard. I'm not that girl over there. You might do that too. I'm not that chick over there that you might cut to. I'm just not her. I'm not better than them. I'm not holier than them. Lord knows I'm not. I'm not any of that. But I have a standard for my way of being as a woman that's feminine and very queen-like without being uppity. It's just who I am. I've explained that in past uploads. I'm extremely earthy, meaning years I was a tomboy. So I am not that girl that's so frilly and so fragile. If you say something, oh my God, I'm gonna fall apart. I'm not her. I can take it. I'm tough skinned, but I'm also an investor. When I say investor, I'm an investor in my relationships, whatever type, friends, love interests, relatives. Like I said to my nephew, relatives. I'm an investor. It's my natural habitat to want a thriving engagement with the person, a thriving, long-term, calm relationship with the person. So if there's friction, it's more than likely not coming from me because I seek calm. I seek resolution. I seek compatibility. Not everyone does. It could be their toxicity, it could be their history, it could be their heritage, it could be their ways, it could be who they are, it could be they're not on the same zone or zen that you're in, or whatever. But at the end of the day, do know this: don't let down your standard. And if someone crosses it, just simply say, I won't stand for that. That's not okay with me. And if they take it some kind of way, that's on them. It's not you. That's on them. Just like with my nephew, for example, I said, hey, you didn't say that. And he said, I didn't mean it that way. Just like when I said, I won't stand for that way. I didn't mean it the way the person interpreted, but their action made things extremely shocking to me because I would never think that that person would do that. Hey, thank you for showing me who you are. Wow. Go fix that. And it's okay. Go fix that. Because what you don't do is end anything on a text or an email by which you miscommunicated the communication because your gender didn't understand the other gender's delivery or submittal or submission to you. So, I think even this talk that we're going to have with the male panel, again, I'm just a facilitator. I think it would help us to understand these talking points in which so many people now are trying to have a conversation by text, and it will never ever work. A text can't replace all this and all that. No way. And so, having realized that, again, just this week, that it's the gender thing. I've never had it with women. And if you're a male, think about it. Have you ever had it with men? It's the gender cross-sectionality. And so we have to work harder to understand what the person is saying by that and be more cohesive instead of releasing. When you release a person, it's very difficult to draw them back in. So work on our cohesiveness, work on our togetherness. Because one thing I do know, it is hard to find a rare woke soul who understands the communication by both genders. And when you do, appreciate that. Get yourself out of the sea of misunderstanding, the sea of miscommunication, the sea of texting and stuff instead of talking. No, engage with the person. And that's my talk for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope to see you on this coming Thursday, third Thursday of the month. And yes, as I was thinking about it, I think I will do one in May so the women can respond. And now all this talk about gender, we need our voice empowered too. So we'll see you on Thursday, and I love you. Bye. Don't be mad at me, y'all. No, they ain't mad at me. I love y'all. Bye.